And by the way, speaking of that division, Rams Seahawks. And also, by the way, speaking of overreactions, the overreaction from Seahawks fans is that they need to fire Mike McDonald and John Schneider. Give me a break. You're 4-5. It's year one with a new head coach. You're doing fine. Seattle's gonna be fine. They beat the Falcons, who are good. They beat the Broncos, who are good. Yeah, like you lost to the Lions, you lost to the Rams, you lost to the Niners. That's fine. You're allowed to lose those games. It's his first year as a head coach. Give Mike McDonald time. You can't judge a coach after 9 games. You can't. Unless the coach has literally no control over the locker room, which I don't believe to be the case. But yeah, it was a good game, overtime game. Rams end up winning 26-20. I'm a Seahawks fan, obviously, so it hurts. It hurts me. But I said I think the Seahawks would win that game. I keep picking home teams. Basically, my rule for division games, and I think I may need to reevaluate this. I keep saying, well, division teams will split home away, and it keeps working out that either they don't split home, either the better team wins both, or they split, but they split the opposite way, where both teams win on the road. Like I said, I think the Seahawks will win at home, Rams win it in LA. But I don't know, the Rams just won it in Seattle, so am I going to have to predict the Seahawks to win in LA now? I guess so. I don't know. Stafford looked good. 3 touchdowns for him. Geno Smith had a weird game. He threw 3 touchdowns, but also turned the ball over 3 times. 3 picks, 3 touchdowns for Geno. I mean, he's fine. He's having a decent season. I don't know how I feel about it. Seattle's points in the first half, they all came at the end of the first quarter, or end of the second quarter, right at the end. They got back-to-back touchdowns within like a 2-minute stretch. And if they had just made both extra points, they win the game. Because then at the very end of the game, down 20-13, Seattle scores a game-tying touchdown to tie the game 20-20. If Jason Myers just makes an extra point on the first touchdown that they scored of the game, Seattle wins 21-20. Most likely. The Rams would have had 20 seconds to score a touchdown. But alas, Jason Myers missed the kick. Rams. Then Seattle made a very controversial call. In overtime, the Seahawks went for it on 4th and 1 when they were well within field goal range. And the critique was that Seattle shouldn't have gone for it. They should have kicked the field goal, took the points, and trust the defense. The problem is the Rams scored a touchdown to win the game in overtime. So if you're thinking we think they're going to score a touchdown, the move is to go for it, right? Now I understand the critique that Mike McDonald needs to trust his defense, but he correctly didn't trust them. Now, is it perhaps a bad look for a defensive mastermind such as McDonald to not trust his defense? Sure. It's a bad look to admit that you don't trust your defense when you're meant to be a defensive mastermind, but he was right. Right? He made the right call to go for it. It was a terrible play call. They just basically just outside run. I mean, it was very obvious they were going to run the ball. So it was a really bad play call. But at least they went. I think they made the right call to go for it. I do. But either way, Rams now 4-4. Seahawks fall to 4-5, and the Rams with a tiebreaker. They're right back into it, which I said they would. They're right back into it. They've climbed right back into this division.